Welcome to another episode of the Digging Dudes, where we bring the past back to the future, one treasure at a time.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Digging Dudes. If you're watching and you continue to watch what we've been doing, this is season 2 finale. This is our wrap up of the year and our top 5 finds. So today you've got myself, Willie. As always, I'm here.
Jeff.
Eric.
And who do we have over here? Well, you want to tell him?
There.
That's Aaron. So if you guys have been watching the last couple of videos, which by the time this video will come out, Aaron had been joining us on a couple of days. But this is the official video where we can now announce to everybody that he is a proud member of the awesome Digging Dudes. We are.
Woo! Cheers.
Woo! Yes, cheers to that. So,
Welcome.
yes. He's taken the pledge and said all the duties as appropriate.
Branded him.
It's been branded.
Brandon Dude.
But it's cool. We've known Aaron, Jeff longer than myself, but
Wow, we're at
30 years.
yeah.
So he's gotten the bug and invested into the hobby like all of us. And so he's going to see a lot more videos of him, of course. So it's great. So today we are going to run through some of our finds from the year. Some of the top finds, 5 specifically. We're going to talk about...
Which was hard to choose, to be honest.
I'm sure it was very difficult because it was quite the year.
That's so many over the year, right?
I know, right? It's
So
not
many
easy to choose,
things.
So I had to choose based on which ones meant the most to me.
So that's the thing. So what we're going to talk about is what obviously it is. Hey girl, we got his mascot here today. If you've seen some of the pictures, I think we've had her in a couple videos, eh? Hey girl?
Yeah, she was there when I found this.
Yeah.
Oh, she wants more love. So what is the item? We're going to talk about when it was found. Obviously it was this year, but we'll talk about maybe just, if it was summer, spring. But more importantly, just what kind of terrain, a little bit about the history of the terrain, if we can, if we have anything. And of course, maybe why it means so much to us. So, that being said, for the foreseeable first year, I think we're going to label Aaron as the rookie. After the first year, he's going to have earned his own name, and we're going to figure that out. And maybe you guys can help us out with that too. But
If you give him the name of the rookie, he's take all the beginner luck and he's going to take everything.
that's okay. That would make it even better. That would be so cool. Eric still brings the whole team a lot of charm, and Lucky Charm specifically. Luck is important in this. Yes, research is important, but we have to have some. You're going to see Jeff doing a lot more historical stuff, and then the season 3 coming up, and that, I'm telling you now, is going to open up with something amazing. So stick around for that, because that is, let's just say we're traveling a little south to kick off the season, okay? And so we're still all here. We're still going to play our parts. We'll figure it out as we go in this next season. So why don't we let our newest member, Aaron, start with his favorite find of the year. So he would have started out with us at
Our 5th favorite. Starting down?
Well, yeah. So one of your top 5s. You can keep your very first, most favorite for the last. The other ones kind of are all top 2, like runners up.
I'll start with the first coin I found. Half penny. 1924. This was found at a church in Western Quebec.
Yeah, 19
It was
was
my first
US
real
half
find.
cent? I know. I was jealous of him when you found him. I was like, oh, good job.
I remember that because it was such a, you hadn't really found a whole lot. We had gone somewhere else in the morning, but this was like the really beginning for it. And you're like, bang, a 1920 something coin. It wasn't even from around here, so it made it even special. But that was pretty sweet. I remember exactly where you found it.
Right along the pathway. I remember it, yeah.
Yeah, never seen anything like it. It was fun. I got the bug.
Yeah, that got you addicted.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be the next video I actually work on. So you've seen it by now by watching this. Future you, future me is saying good job. Just like, Awesome. Eric,
What you, buddy?
you've got some really cool stuff, man. It's been a hell of a season for you. So which one are you going to start with? Keep your best for the last.
Yeah, so I'll start like maybe from this ring I found on 1700 home site
See that?
with a little rivet.
Did you say a little ribbit?
Mm-hmm.
A little frog.
And
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. It's cool.
So where was this found again?
old 1700.
It was 1700s home site. Okay.
Yeah.
Was it a field or was it the actual home site?
No, it was on the field.
It was in the field. Okay, cool. This is pretty nice looking. This is in pretty good shape. So we'll get a picture of that. Obviously, everything should be up on the screen now anyways. Wow, that's really nice. Why is it your favorite dog?
Well, I like the design and it's kind of unique. So I hope it will bring me some luck.
Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen a ring like that with a frog on it that rotates and spins. That's kind of neat.
Wow.
Cool. Nice find, man. Really nice find.
All right, I haven't ordered them. Let's see. All right, we're gonna go with this one, I think. This one is an 1897. It's a Queen Victoria Diamond Jubilee commemorative medal. Why it's important because, or where it was found was actually where I grew up. I found it where I grew up. I found
your
like
homestead.
where I started metal detecting, where I found a whole bunch of things was so it's been detected for years. So whenever I find anything new, it's special. But thinking back, like for me, 1897 obviously, and it's presented to the pupils of the Ottawa school boards. So somebody had to travel from Ottawa by horse or by train and then horse to get to the farm where I grew up, and then lose it and then travel back to Ottawa. Or how it was lost is what is the inquiry in my head. Whatever makes it special, right? Is what makes me think.
You always wonder, right?
I always wonder why. Like, how was this lost? Where did it come from? How was it lost? It was presented to a child, obviously a student who traveled up to where I grew up.
And it's got a hole in there. Would have been worn around their neck, like
Yeah.
many of the older coins and medallions we find that are special.
Yeah, it's not in the best shape by any means.
No, but I mean, you can still
where my-
see some really good stuff on it. It was squished, but
Yeah, it's where I found it where my grandparents used to keep horses when I was a kid. So you can see it's a little. I think a horse squished it a little bit.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah,
Very cool.
that's my number one of the
That's a good
5.
number one.
Yeah.
Well, I must say I had a pretty decent year too. I'm going to start with my spoon. Because it was such a random find that I didn't expect it to find. This is a pure silver spoon that was handed out on November 5th of 1912. It's even engraved there to Captain Thomas Francis Elmet, who won this for a 500-yard shooting contest, a marksmanship contest. He went on to be in the war, both world wars, and yeah, really cool guy. But I found this in a soccer field, very close to the end of the season, and it was one of those moments we'd already always said, okay, that's our last day. It's not going to happen. And
No,
next thing
we
you
had
know,
so many
we're
of
out
those
in a
this
field
year
somewhere.
where we thought it was the end.
How many times have we had a false ending to this season? I don't know. We just couldn't stop. So in any case, I really didn't think it was going to happen, and it was a soccer field that I'd gone to with Eric, and really not a whole lot of found, but in an area of town that I know still has lots of history. So the most important thing is it sounded so trashy and high that I'm like, why am I doing this? This is going to be junk. But it sounded such like a interesting tone that I couldn't say no. And at first I'm like, oh, frickin' spoon. Who wants a frickin' spoon? But then when you look at it, you see how it's engraved and the fact that it actually is an award and nobody ate out of this thing.
Yeah.
Blew my mind. So
And then you did try to find the family too, right?
yeah, as always, we try to locate, if anything's personalized, we always would love to return it to the family because, I mean, that's where it belongs, right? And we located everybody, but unfortunately there are no living relatives. We even went to uncles, and it just, so it's kept in trust in our display case with all the information, and definitely one of my favorite finds.
Back to me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Next one would be my 1919 quarter, George V. Pulled that out
Near the
December
end of the
30th,
season,
was
yeah.
it?
Like right at the end
Yeah.
of December, yeah.
Almost.
Some old tangled field, just
That was a hard
Happened on it.
field
Yeah.
to
Snow still
swing
was
in.
on the ground, right?
Hmm?
Snow was on the ground.
Snow was on the ground
Yeah.
still. There was a little bit. I remember that, but I remember that the grass was still long because we'd
Grass
been to
was
that
long,
field
yeah.
a couple of times, and I wasn't there that night, but I know what you were working against, bud, and to be able to find that in there is pretty.
I remember it sounded so good.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
So when I saw that silver come up, I was pretty happy.
1919 silver.
That's my oldest to date.
Ooh, so
Yeah, that's right. That's Aaron's oldest going too, yeah.
next year bucket list is going to be hitting the 1800 club.
Yep.
That's a good one to
This
have.
year, yeah.
No,
That's right, this year, that's right.
1700.
Well, he probably might even just skip it and go right to it. It's been known to happen.
Goal.
Or 16.
Oh, the first coin I ever found was the
Oh yeah.
1830s in Sioux
Oh, so-
at the family property where I found that one. My first, sorry, not my first coin, but my first old coin.
Old coin.
Yeah.
With some age to it.
That wasn't like a
Extremely
modern penny or a modern whatever, right?
Alright, I guess my turn.
Yes, sir, man. What you got, Mr. Eric?
So I think it's this coin I never found before. This is William IV, King of England, a British coin I found on the field. And,
What year is it?
I think it's 1890.
1819?
Yeah. So it was minted.
That's a big coin, man. That's a big coin. We don't find a whole lot of those British coins. Usually, any coin that we find that big are Upper Canada or Lower Canada tokens.
It's almost
That's what
the
it looks
same
like.
size.
Yeah, it's
But it's identical size and shape, but it's a William III. You're the only one out of all of us who's ever found a William IV, actually, sorry.
Yeah.
That's a really nice coin, man. I remember when you found that. We had such a good day in that field.
Like not every day you can find. a
yeah, we were
coin
there on
like that.
separate. Well, I think we are going to talk about one of the things we found there
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
in the same spot where you found that the second time we went back. So this is the second time we went back. We found that one.
Yeah, it's such a good field, and we'll have to go back there again. Lovely landowners. Okay, good job.
Yeah.
Nice find, man.
Thank you.
No, that one. This one. I think for number 2, we're going to go with the 1828 U.S. half cent. No, we don't find very many U.S. coins down here. My bucket list for this year, I always keep very simple bucket lists just to find something that's fairly common that most people find, not all the time, which we're going to get to eventually here. on
What was
this.
your bucket list
For next year?
for this year? Your
Like this
main
year coming up?
Yeah.
Is an Indian head penny.
Well, that's one. Okay, so
Yeah,
last
for this
year
one.
was a.
We're going to talk about that in a
Okay,
minute.
okay.
That's on the,
We won't tell
that's
them
one of
exactly
number
what's
one
there.
because they got so excited when I found that, even though it's not even
Yeah,
like
we
that
haven't
old
put that-
or that like you know what I mean?
I haven't done the video yet, but
Yeah,
future us is going to know
You're
you
gonna
guys like
see it
that
before,
video.
yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was good. You've seen this.
But yeah, it's a classic ad, 1828 U.S. half cent. We just don't find them very often, especially half cents or the large cents. So it was a pretty special find. It was beside an old. When was that barn built? Early 1800s.
Yeah.
And on a farm, obviously.
We've
In
been
our
to a
area.
few times, quite a few times.
Yeah. What did you found what did you find right beside there before? Another time before.
Oh, I found like a watch, and I found a few coins, tokens.
Yeah. Didn't you
Different
find
things.
1820 something or 18? I can't remember.
Yeah,
now,
it was like a commercial trade token,
but, okay.
something like that.
But yeah,
Hardware.
half pennies or half
Yeah, half
anything,
pennies
like
or
something like
they're-
that is such a
They're large
off-
cents for us here in Canada, right? So
Yeah.
So it was
Even in US, it's still like hard to find like half cent.
Yeah, they're not very common at
I
all.
remember wiping it with you there, and we're like, "Oh, it's a wreath. What is that?"
I thought it was an Indian head. You skipped right past
Well,
the
that's
Indian
it.
head that you
Yeah.
wanted. You're like,
So
oh,
for my simple bucket list this year is just to get an Indian head penny, but so I surpassed that with the 1828 half cents.
and it's in
for this last
really
year,
good
but-
shape, which will be nice to show you guys after.
Yeah, it's not bad shape.
Not too bad at all. I'm going to put these.
Shake them up. They're all
Shake
together.
them up, because that's how I found them.
Sounds like silver.
Sounds like silver.
That was like silver 5 and 10 cent pieces. Man. I don't know.
So you guys have seen that video. One of my first first time ever finding some fish scales and some small silver dimes.
Oh, that's right.
And
That was
I got
your
them
first fish
all.
scale too, eh?
Yes, I
You got
never
3
had
of them
these
in
little
one hole,
fishes.
yeah.
These are so small. They're so tiny. send those over to Aaron. So 3 dimes and 3 5-cent pieces. Pass those over.
Yeah.
And all in one hole on the side of an old road that had been used by kids to go back and forth to school. Who knows if it was them or not, but early 1900s. None of them were Vickies, which is okay, but the fact that they were all in the same hole just blew my mind.
Yeah, there were 6 of them right there. Yeah.
Someone just dropped them from the pockets.
Oh yeah, pocket spill, or they were sitting on the ground and they all fell out, but
just sitting there, yeah,
it was-
probably.
and it wasn't even like apart from each other. They were literally in a clump. So,
Somebody was mad that day, that's all I gotta say. Whether it could have been the kids' parents, or if it was the parents, they'd be mad at themselves.
Somebody
So
was- yeah.
somebody was mad.
and then I was really happy. So it all
Yeah.
worked out in the end. It balanced itself out.
That's how the universe balances itself out, yeah.
Right? I mean, that's what we do, is we find stuff that's been
And
lost.
this is was your like first fish scale.
For, yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
that was the
I'm
first
saying,
fishing.
The
So-
first that even had 3 of them in the same hole, and with a couple dimes, just to add a little bit to it, you know.
Oh my God, that was such a good day. We had a whole bunch of other stuff, but that was just icing on the cake. All right, Aaron.
My next one's a bit of decoration, I think, from an armoire or something. The reason why this one is special is because we were crazy enough to take off to St. Lawrence. Where was that?
In the
South of the
snow.
St. Lawrence.
St. Lawrence. Yeah, there was snow all over the place. It was a cornfield.
Oh, so
it was
cold
hard
that
to
day.
swim.
I don't quit very often. And I was
That'd
the
have
first one
been-
to quit that day.
So you guys will have more than likely seen this video recently. Most of the stuff we got from there was left with the landowner. That would have been probably the last video prior to this or close to it. So you guys would have remember seeing that piece.
Yeah, it's pretty decorative, and it's got a little fancy in the middle there too. A little escutcheon piece or something. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's one of the things I would put on my new treasure chest over there. I want to decorate it with all of the little things I found.
You did remember to press record, right?
No, never.
All right.
All right, Eric, what you got?
So I agree with Jeff about American coins,
Mm-hmm.
and this is actually one of my favorites. Seeded 1 dime, 1850. So I found it on the field.
Yeah, not too far from just
No.
down the road. Different
Yeah.
farms, but it was literally
Yeah.
pretty close. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe drop it by the same person.
just walking through. Yeah.
But those are a couple of big farm fields next to each other, so.
Seeded Liberty dime and with the hole.
Just someone was wearing it. Yeah.
What year was it?
1850.
1850 seeded Liberty dime, folks. Obviously, the picture will be up there on the screen, but yeah, another hole in the piece again. People used to sew the money into their pockets and pants and whatever because their pockets sucked that much.
I was hoping to find like American large cent, but it's okay. I got some.
Hey, none of us
silver.
have found an American large cent at all, eh?
You got this is
You got half cent.
Half
No, no,
cent,
no.
not the full.
We
yeah.
want a full cent here, so this is on the next year's list, but
No, you need to have penny.
this year's
Simple
list.
list. Simple list.
Yeah.
I keep my goals.
No,
And then
I'm
I
going
surpass them, and I'm even happier.
I'm even going gold sovereign is on my list now after finding the things I found this year because I didn't expect to find them. All right, so what do you got? What's your
So that's
third
on
one?
me, eh? 3. Oh, you know what? We're gonna go with the ring. So yeah, so I found this at an old. It was I think it was part of a sawmill, to be honest.
Yeah.
Early 1800s. A friend, other Eric, found. It was a KG2 coin there as well, so it was an older site. Just amber, and it's
Yeah.
not marked as silver. Yeah, Eric Denny. Yeah, 2 Erics. It's always confusing. So and it's very light. It could be aluminum. But it's
Could be
very
silver.
fancy.
Oh,
It could be
it's
silver. It's very, very light though.
It definitely has some age to it. It doesn't look like made, but
No, it's definitely
especially where you were, there's
Victorian.
no traffic. Like it's not something where people are constantly going by. And so,
Oh, and it was deep too. It wasn't like
so
Yeah.
It is definitely Victorian era.
yeah. It's got. I looked
It's
up
really
Victorian
pretty.
rings and it shows all the fancy on it and all the other rings I've looked up and it's got the amber. It's scratched a
finding
little bit
jewelry
from-
doesn't happen often unless we're in the water. So
Well, that's exactly it. It's not something we find very often because we don't go to the beaches too often, and those are just modern rings, which is not what we're interested in. We're interested in the old things. So to find a ring that's an older ring is pretty special. So
yeah,
it's
man.
pretty close to number 1, but we got to keep the other ones as
God, it's nice.
we got to balance out the other ones. I know.
I'm glad you didn't lose it.
Yeah. I put it in my
Jeff
glove.
has a bad
I
habit
put
of
it in my
putting
glove
things
box
just-
and I thought I might have thrown it out at one point.
Yes.
I wrapped it up in a mask, like COVID mask thing, and thought maybe I'd tossed it at one point. Because then I cleaned up the glove box, and I was like, oh no. And I was too afraid to look for like 2 weeks if I had.
But as you can see, we take better care of our items now, obviously.
Yeah, I got a system now.
We got a system now.
Yeah.
It's important. It's important. All right, my third item. Yeah, I guess we'll pop this guy because I don't know.
What's that?
This is the
Ottawa?
Sweetheart pin that I found
Oh, yeah.
With the crest.
when the water was low. So you guys have seen the flood water before the flood series. This would have been at the final one. It was one time where I was there by myself because we had limited days. We knew where the water was going to be low, and it was an area close enough by my house. So I went there a couple of times on my side of the river. It just made it easy for me to go. And I think the second or third time I went, I found this there, and I could not believe it.
Was it military?
No, it's
No.
a Sweetheart pin, but more importantly is it's got the old Ottawa coat of arms. And the Ottawa coat of arms was designed in 1850 by this one guy, I can't remember his name, and I had it, John Henry Walker. That's why I write stuff down now. Too many things to freaking remember. And it's so pretty, it's so beautiful, and it literally just blew my mind. I was like, what is this? And it's intact, and it had color, it had a little bit more green, and I wish I... Yeah, but that just kind of...
Oh, would have been fully enameled at one point, right?
Yeah, full of color and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but the fact that it still has some enamel on it is amazing.
That's awesome.
You posted about that on our new Reddit account today, too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I came across that.
Yeah, I decided to start posting on there today.
Cool. My next find was from a homestead south of Ottawa. What was the year that place?
Which one is it?
Which one?
Where I found the watch.
Oh, where were we?
Somebody was selling the place.
Oh, same as the cap, same
Yep.
as your dueling
Next
pistol.
one. Yep.
That's the
Yeah,
same
okay.
one. Okay, so yeah, that's a
south,
fellow detectorist friend
Smiths
of ours.
Falls kind of area or something. It was south, or no?
South Ottawa, somewhere.
So it's early 1900s somewhere, maybe 1930, 1940. Gold plated, 25 jewel Swiss made watch by a company named Buren, which is a high end company. It led me down this nice ADD fueled
Rabbit hole.
Yeah, trying to figure out more information about it. Not a lot comes up about it, but yeah.
It still exists, Aaron? This company?
No, I think the company was sold to a Canadian company and then it lost some of its prestige.
He really went down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, and maybe
Like
it got started up again, but yeah. Actually, no, I think it did get started up again and it's still around. But yeah, Buren, B-U-R-E-N. So.
That's the beautiful thing about the hobby, though, right? You throw you down the rabbit hole. Next thing you know, you learn all this shit about all this stuff about something that you wouldn't have learned before.
Yeah, like they used actual jewels inside of watches. Nowadays, I think it's more synthetic jewels that they use. But,
Okay.
'cause they don't-
Manufactured lab ones or whatever.
Yeah, they
Interesting.
use jewels because they don't wear down like metal does.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Good story.
Finding jewelry and watches and stuff like that or anything is always neat because it's such a personal item. It's not handled by 100,000 people. It's like, okay, this was one person's personal belonging. You know, so you always got to wonder, man, how did he lose it? Why did he lose it?
Yeah.
Did it fall off? Did he throw it away? Did he get into a fight? Was he killed? Who
Always
knows?
interesting to track the person along the
If we can track it down, even better. But you know, sometimes we just have to use our imagination.
And I took it apart. It's in relatively good shape inside. Too.
Sweet.
I was surprised.
Put it back to use.
Maybe.
All right, Eric,
Okay.
your
so
fourth item. What you got, bud?
This year, I finally found a 1700 coin.
Wow.
I already found a few, but they all was like completely wiped. But this one have a gorgeous King George III bust on it with the Britannia on the back, probably 1760 or something like that. So I
It's
found
pretty good.
it just in the park, in the spot I've been like 100 times. Try
Yeah.
to use some new settings on my detector, and here we go.
You've pulled quite a few things out of that area, and the fact that you've been able to go back after not just you, but other detectorists that we know, including ourselves, have been there so many times, countless times, and you know, playing around with the settings is proof that you can, you know,
This was
Unmasked
just,
stuff, yeah.
this coin was just like over 4 inches.
There you go, 4 inches down, man.
Some iron on top, like old square nails and stuff like that. It was a few.
Unfortunately, we didn't get a full video of that, but that kind of happens when we're out on our own sometimes. So you'll notice that a lot of the videos will be getting a little bit better as we go for the next little while. So
Yeah, we're still learning. So.
yep.
Which leads me into my first 1700s coin. Thank you for the segue.
1700s Club.
Yeah. So yeah, 1799 King George III, 1 farthing. For me, the only reason I'm including this really is because it puts me into the 1700s club. It's in great shape. But the interesting fact about this coin, though, was that it was one of the first coins ever to be minted using steam power in Britain. So
Change the way they were making.
changing the way they were striking the coins. So I guess they designed some sort of steam powered, pressurized stamping, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so 1799 got the year off of it. It's in decent shape. It's a little worn down, obviously, but for 1799, I'll take it. And actually, yeah, it was in the same field, not even different times, but maybe 30 feet from Aaron's 1919 quarter. So it was in the same field, same area.
Yeah. It's funny, a lot of the cooler stuff, like your bucket lists and whatever, came near the end of the season.
Yeah, I had a bunch that didn't even bring. Yeah.
Like that would happen at the very end. We're like, what the?
It was dark and yeah.
Trying to swing
Ground
in
was
that
frozen.
field. Oh my god.
We had to be careful, not careful,
Oh,
but
yeah.
only take the really good targets, otherwise we'd be chopping away at the ground for a while.
We've done some crazy stuff this season, as you've seen. Just weather just didn't matter to us. As long as we could dig, we were like, let's go.
Yeah.
That's dedication, guys. This is our hobby. So
You can put up with Jeff
Before I
snores.
start, can
Right?
I take
You can
it
put up
over?
with Jeff snores.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's important.
you guys and your 1700s club. Well, I did make the 1700s club. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. With our friends. But this one is not the 1700s club. This was my bucket lister for the year. The one thing I wanted to find, and once I found it, I was so happy. But a 50-cent piece, preferably one that didn't have Queen Liz on there. I just wanted something old. And it would have been nice to be Queen Vicky, but I'll take this one because I'm really happy, man. Where we got it again with the low flood waters before the flood, I think it was the third one. Man, this thing came out and it was just, I couldn't believe it. You wait you're like, I want this so bad this year. And then when it's finally there, you're like, it really happened. So,
Is it King Edward?
King Edward 1910, it's in beautiful condition. That's black on there. And
all the coins with King Edward.
yeah, it's funny.
50-cent piece.
50-cent piece. God, I was so excited. So that's why that one is so important to me anyways. Still not my best find of the year.
But we're talking about what's most important to you, right?
Yeah.
What meant the most, that's why this is not the coolest find, my last one, which we'll get to, but
It means the most.
I was so happy, yeah. You're so happy. You saw this.
Yeah, that's great shape. What could you get for 50 cents back then?
50 cents back then meant a lot, man. That was somebody's weekly wage, probably.
Yeah, pay your rent.
You should probably, pay your rent with that. But
You got 95 cents up there from around the same time.
that's right. At a whole other time. It's true, eh? They're all around the same time. All
Yeah.
impressive. Okay, so then
My
last
top
one.
find.
Your top
Top
find
five.
of the season.
Bit of a funny story. It's the same place, the homestead where I found the watch. Jeff and I were driving down there in his truck and putting some intentions out there, but we
Talking about
wanted
what
to
we wanted to
find.
find,
I
yeah.
said I want to find dueling pistols, a pair of dueling pistols. I did not find a dueling pistol, but I did find a neat 1950s or so cap gun. It still works.
Oh my
If you
god.
put a cap in there, it would probably go, but yeah.
Wow.
Pretty decent shape. Company named Kilgore, made in the U.S.
When did Kilgore make cap guns from? Do you know?
I don't know the range of years, but
Okay.
this one I think was around 1950 or so.
Man, it's got all the parts still on it.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with it. That's why it was so funny, because we were just talking about dueling pistols, and
Yeah.
I did not find the dueling pistol so I could duel with Aaron, unfortunately.
Yeah.
After you found that, I remember thinking, oh, I gotta find one so we can just duel.
It's got to be on your bucket list.
You
this
did
year.
find pieces of another gun, if I'm not mistaken, that day, did you not?
No.
Was somebody found pieces of a gun or something?
Oh, I might have found some. I can't remember now.
Okay.
But it wasn't enough to.
It wasn't worth
enough to
keeping.
duel with. Wasn't enough to duel with. That's all.
It wasn't. But great, fantastic finds. What a good year for you, man.
Yeah.
Wow. And,
2 months of it.
Did so.
Well, I
and
think
that's
Aaron
just a
only started
couple of
later in the
months.
season too, right? Yeah.
Late
When
this
was your
season.
first? You did
Got
one
some
in
silvers, bunch of silvers at the church. Penny. Yeah.
But he'll be kicking off season 3 with us, so stick around.
and then you got your detector. When did you buy your detector? In December?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little Christmas. Thank you very
So
much.
Aaron
Merry Christmas.
joined these guys and got the Knocked Out Legends. So.
Yeah, it's been a really good machine to us so far. I mean, we got
Oh,
nothing
nothing
to
wrong
say.
with that machine. It's a great machine. Man.
Yeah, so we're gonna keep on trucking it, and I got some new parts for it this season. So coming up. All right, Eric, show us what is your favorite find for season 2.
So this is really special. This is something unique and related to the Ottawa history. I would say it's early 1900 hydroelectric button from
From the hydroelectric company.
from hydroelectric company, and I would say it probably was like on one of the first hydro workers in the Ottawa area on their jackets somewhere. So
Yeah, it's a nice piece of local history,
yeah,
right?
it is a nice piece of local history and
Pretty good shape. It's too bad it's got a tiny little dent in there, but you can clearly make out what it is, which is amazing.
And that was an old foundation. We had to
Yeah.
walk to it. Aaron was there too that day, I think. Yeah. First time.
Yeah, that's right. That was the previous morning hunt. What an amazing foundation that was, too.
Oh, that's right. That's before. Yeah, and then you found your
Because
half penny in the afternoon.
that video
yeah,
would have been up
yeah,
by now.
That's right.
I found large too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
such a cool place.
yeah. Well, that's it. This is just a piece of what we find each time, or sometimes we find nothing. That's the thing. The videos make it look like we're finding stuff all the time, but sometimes we go out and
I'm starting putting
Really?
in some of a lot of the stuff that we don't want to be, because there's a lot of it, not all of it is like this, and I think it is important to have the realism of knowing, hey, not everything we find is awesome. So I've been trying to put a little bit of that in there.
I
to
think
make
you
sure
should get
it's
8 hours of
real.
metal detecting down to 20 minutes, right? Kind
Yeah.
of thing. 20-minute video, and
Yeah, it takes a lot of holes before we actually find some stuff, unfortunately. But we're getting a lot
sometimes
better.
you just walk out and you find it in your first hole. Unfortunately, it's not
Yeah.
this one, but
Yeah, that's happened
That
a few
was, yeah.
times.
but yeah, okay.
Eric's notorious for that. He'll walk up and go, bing! It's like, we just started, man.
That was my Nova Scotia penny, right?
Yeah, it was you that time.
But that's not. This is not a Nova Scotia penny, nor is this the oldest.
What is this?
coin. This is a 1901 Queen Victoria quarter. At the beginning of at last winter, all I said was I wanted to find was a Vicky quarter, Queen Victoria quarter. Didn't matter what year, just wanted to find one. They're not. You don't find them every day by any means, but they're not super uncommon. I set realistic goals. Same as I'm setting a goal for this year to find Indian head penny. And I've already found an 1828 U.S. half cent, which is much older. Indian head penny started in the 1860s or something. So it's much older than that, but yeah, no, when I found this, yeah, there was quite a bit of an expression on my face, and might have screamed a little bit.
It's
rolled
realistic goal.
Oh, it's Reed.
It better be a
Did I just find a Vicky quarter?
Did you do it?
Hold it back.
You can not. You don't.
No.
You can let the emotions
Oh my
out.
God. Fucking did it.
Did you
Oh, yeah.
actually get a Queen Vicky
It was the
quarter?
very end of the year too. Like
Again,
the ground
the
was
end of the
very,
season.
very frozen. This was what we thought was gonna be the last hunt, but then it warmed up a little bit. We got a couple more hunts in, froze, warmed up a little bit again. So we got a couple more hunts in. I found this 1799 coin after this one, but this was what we had at the time thought was gonna be the last hunt because the ground was hard, like frozen.
What else was that?
It was Ebony was there with us. That was the. That
We get a
was,
beautiful shot of
yeah, there was an old
Probably
1800s house that was there. It's a farm field now, along the river, and
Tons of
yeah,
history.
you had I can't remember. You just found a penny
Dime.
of some sort or dime.
There was a dime.
Yeah, okay, a dime of some sort, and then so Will had to run back and forth for filming purposes, and all I said was I see the large and silver in the ground. I didn't know what it was until we could get it out and actually look at it, and then yeah, I mean, it was wet and cold when I rolled on the ground, I think, and jumped and yelled, and so yeah, not the oldest by any means, but this is the one that meant the most to me because I always set realistic, simple enough goals so that when you achieve them,
What's your
You're happy.
oldest silver?
And more importantly is it's a 1901. It's the last possible year to be a Queen Vicky.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So if it was 1902, it would not be.
So by the hair of the chinny chin chin chin.
On what we thought was the last day, the last year of a Queen Victoria quarter.
The detecting god smiled on you. They
not,
could have been jerks and given him a 1902.
I didn't honestly believe it at first. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Just
pretty
'cause it was,
sweet.
yeah.
It's exactly what you asked for, which is really nice. I think everyone kind of. Did you have one at the beginning of the year?
What?
A specific bucket list? I don't recall you having one specific one.
Well, you know, I like a process. It's more important for me than the stuff I find. But I like some old coppers. Probably 1700 was in my bucket list.
Anything 1700, I think, was your top thing.
Yeah.
I'd say that. Okay, so that's fair, and you did find it, which is really good. So that's good. So, okay, yeah, my final piece. I don't have it because it was returned to the family. I do have
That's the most important.
yeah, which is really most important. There is a write-up about it in the Shawville Equity, and that's about all I can tell you. But, I mean, for those who know and have been following us, you would have seen this video anyways. And in a few different places, as well as the picture that'll be up on the screen. Just an amazing thing to be able to find a World War I medal that has a specific soldier's name on it, that is specific to a specific time and place, and be able to reunite it with a relative
Yeah, the
that's
same
still
family,
living.
still living there in the same property, right?
Yeah,
So,
same property, same family. This would have been his niece, because it was her uncle. But still, I mean, it was super important, especially to her. And the fact that we found it super late at night, we couldn't.
We
It
were
was
there
so
in the
late.
dark
We
with
couldn't.
headlamps. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
At that point, I wasn't going to knock on the door, but hey, and wake her up. So we had to wait, but I told her I found something really cool, and I played it up because I knew how awesome it was, and I wanted to tell her so badly, so many times.
Yeah. And she had the same last name, so we already knew it was a relative of some sort, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I knew it was going to be awesome and epic. So it was so hard keeping that secret. But when I finally was able to get it on camera, it was really worth it. And it was so awesome. And it felt so nice. Because, I mean, what am I going to do with it? Right? I mean, obviously, we'll keep things that we find that we can't relate. But if it's got family ties, it really belongs where it belongs. And that's with the family. That's why doing those kind of permissions for us, where there's such a history of family, are the most important and our favorite things to do. So, of course, if you guys...
prefer that it stays with the family, right?
Yeah, we love doing those more than anything because we know people will take care of the stuff that we find. And...
stays on the property, stays with the family.
Yeah,
and,
it's a story. It belongs to them. So, I mean, it's important. And...
we just get to be a part of it. That's all, right?
That's it.
Document it, film it,
That's
do what we do, and then it goes back to the family, and they get to be the caretakers of it. That's the... I'm always the happiest when the families are involved and they're super excited about it, right? And
or places like the Keyhole House.
Yeah.
Where Ted and Marion Outerbridge brought us out there, and we told them they obviously, we knew the importance of the history of the home. We're like, you guys keep everything and, take care of it. And they're like, gladly, this is what we want to do. And it was just one of those match made in heaven where every single piece of something we found that had some tie to the house, they preserved, did the research, and then posted it for all the people that have been following them as well. So
yeah, no, exactly.
I'm sure you can put some links to the description so folks can see the Keyhole House and some videos from there.
I think we'll put that in the description for you guys as well.
But yeah, I remember you got me to swing that target after you swung it the first time too, and I was like, sounds too good to be true almost. Like, it just sounded so good.
I left my hole to go see what you had. What did you have in your hole now?
Oh, I had like an 1880s large center or something.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was shot by a bullet. It was.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That was such a good video.
But I still got the year. It was 1880 something, 88 maybe even. I can't remember now, but.
We'll see if we can go back there in the spring and get some more footage. But next season's going to be good, guys. It's going to start awesome. So
there's 4 of us now.
There's 4 of us.
We can cover more ground.
More adventures, more fun. It's going to be great. We want to thank all of the viewers and our fans, obviously, but more importantly, the people who give us permission to go to these sites. 95% of the time, it's a private permission where we've been invited. Sometimes it's a public place that's completely open to the public to metal detect. But yeah, so this is what we love to do. We have a new season coming up. Reach out to us if you want us to come out to your property, or just keep watching, because we got a lot of cool stuff in the near future for you. So
Yeah.
cool. Thanks for watching. Have a good
Stay
night.
tuned, guys.
Stay tuned.
Okay,
Cut.
Cut.